Hello guys, Omni here. Just like I said before in my reaction for the teaser for Godzilla King of the Monsters, that I was hoping that we don't leave this Comic-Con without a full trailer of that, and they did not fail. Today we got the full trailer for Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters. So I'm definitely excited. There's been a lot of stuff coming out of this that I've just been looking forward to. This, Aquaman, Fantastic Beasts, Shazam. So many things that we've seen so far that I've been really looking forward to for a long time. Godzilla is something that goes probably the farthest back. Like if we want to talk about influences on my childhood and all of that, I'm pretty sure it's really close between Godzilla and Batman for one of the first influences on me as far back as I can remember. But I've seen every Godzilla movie there is, even the Roland Emmerich movie with Matthew Broderick, despite that whole can of worms there. Can of worms. That's a joke because Matthew Broderick was a worm specialist in that movie. Anyway, to this, we got Godzilla returning. We got 3 other confirmed monsters for this movie. His antithesis, his arch nemesis, his recurring villain above villains, King Ghidorah. He will be joined by Mothra and Rodan. Mothra, of course, is a gigantic moth. Usually Mothra is like a force for peace. Whenever the world is out of balance, Mothra kind of comes to bring things back into check. So usually you see Mothra opposed to Godzilla in a lot of cases to calm it or get him out of destroying everything. Rodan, however, is a giant pterodactyl that I think resided or was awoken out of a volcano. And each of them have their own movies, but they also standalone movies from like way back in the day. But they've all crossed over. They've all been in a Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Rodan, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, or Monster X, or the many very different names that they've given Ghidorah over the years. Which is, I'm wondering where they're going to go in this one, like because there's the cave paintings that show him that they've teased at the end of King Kong on Skull Island, that in most incarnations of Ghidorah, if not all of them that I can remember, he was extraterrestrial in origin in pretty much all of them, unless there's one that I'm not remembering correctly. I'm pretty sure he's always come from space. But with these cave paintings and stuff like that they've shown in this, I'm wondering how they're gonna fill in his backstory in this, if he's just another creature that's just been residing on Earth since the dawn of time, like Godzilla and some of these other creatures that they're just now discovering. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what they have to show us in the full trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters.
We feared,
Got a voiceover from Vera Farmiga's character.
and we are the cause. We are the infection.
What is happening? Get at the door! Okay. Okay.
But like all living organisms, the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original
Ken Watanabe is back.
For thousands of years,
We got Godzilla in the
these creatures have
underwater.
been around the world. And unless
There's that cave painting of Ghidorah.
our planet will perish,
They're calling them Titans. Okay, that's a first.
they are the only guarantee that life will carry on.
Larva Mothra. Gosh, I love this design of Godzilla. This new take. He's so massive. Dude, Mothra looks beautiful. Rodan and his volcano. Except he was way bigger than that volcano. I have no idea how he was in there. That was some lightning. I'm pretty sure it's safe to bet that's Ghidorah because he breathes lightning, yellow lightning out of his mouth and that. Ghidorah again. That shot of Ghidorah. Tywin. It's so. Okay, that was an ironic line there. Oh, this gets me so pumped. Oh. You know what? Let's pull back through that actually, because I want to get a. Where was it? I want to see that shot of Ghidorah. Oh. Let's mute that. Dude. Okay. So we get a silhouetted look of Ghidorah, and it looks just like he used to, man. There is not a whole lot of deviation on that design there at all. Mothra looked so good coming out of that waterfall, and then Rodan, kind of a generic giant pterodactyl, not too far off from what it was. I'd like a better look at that. It looks like he's got some, I want like lava scarring or something like that, or lava still attached to like his wings and stuff like that, which is kind of a nice little touch on his design. And I think they were showing, because in the previous movies, I think there was always established that he could fly at supersonic speeds. So like he would fly and it would create a sonic boom and stuff like that. And there's like a small clip of him flying past like a cityscape, and you just see like buildings being ripped apart. So there's little touches like that, and I'm pretty sure you got a little Stranger Things girl petting or reaching to pet larva Mothra, because Mothra almost always starts as an egg in these movies and then progresses through like the normal stages of a caterpillar into like a butterfly kind of through that. So you usually have larva Mothra, something happens, it cocoons itself, that cocoon then hatches into the moth, and almost always Mothra dies or sacrifices itself. There are not many movie incarnations or movie fights with that have Mothra in them that result in its moth form surviving. So I wonder if that is something they'll leave up into this. Because, okay, something I wanted to talk about too, because there's like that last scene with Godzilla there at the end where he's walking out and you see like all the jets and the planes flying out behind him. If you notice, they're not shooting at him. Like, they're clearly just flying past him. You don't see any shots at him. There's the shot earlier in the trailer where they're in that little underwater base, and you see him, like, his glowing blue spines, like, in the distance, and kind of silhouetting him in the water out the window, walking towards them. A little bit that was released about this movie prior to the trailer coming out was that Vera Farmiga's character has been researching, like, using sound waves to communicate with these creatures. So I'm wondering if they are going to be using that to either lead or aim or control or talk to Godzilla in some way to kind of have him fight their battles for them, or at least point him into the direction of something that is threatening everybody so that he will put a stop to it. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting for it out of that a little bit. I could be wrong, but that's my speculation on it for right now. I'm really excited for this. It does seem like they're finally taking some of the criticisms from the first movie and ramping up the monster factor. If we have 4 monsters in this one and there's still barely any monster fights or monster screen time, how would you do that? Already, even so, even with the monster factor being ramped up, it does look like they have also taken to heart the criticisms of the human protagonist that was in the first Godzilla movie. And just from the trailer alone, the human cast looks a lot more interesting, leagues more interesting to follow, at least, than Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Because I still enjoyed that movie, but as far as the human element of the movie, it was severely weak. And I can't say that it's on them, because I've seen them both be fine in other movies. I just think it maybe was the direction or the script, something outside their power, or maybe they just weren't feeling that movie that much. But the main hero in that movie, I just didn't connect with. The only character I somewhat connected with in the first movie, and I think this is pretty much unanimous, is Bryan Cranston's character, the father, in the first part of the movie, and where he dies in the first maybe 20 minutes of the movie, and then he's just gone. The most interesting character in the entire movie is gone in the first 20 minutes, and then you're just kind of left with bland cutout cardboard character people carrying the rest of the movie, and then it just kind of doesn't work. The only reason I really love that movie is because, like, when Godzilla shows up at the end, it is the most satisfying part of that whole movie, because the last time we saw Godzilla in America, it was the Roland Emmerich one, where he was just a giant iguana, wanted to lay some eggs, with a lot of bad jokes. So it didn't have a lot to live up to, so it easily surpassed that bar. This one looks to be upping the stakes, taking to heart some of the criticisms, so I'm on board. I am excited, and I want to see these monsters fight. And in the immortal words of Ken Watanabe from the first Godzilla, let them fight. Sorry. Anyway, thank you all for stopping in again. Hope to catch you next time. Take care.